Hi all, I am Sumlata, working as Associate Professor in the Department of Chemical Engineering, VFSTR University. In this semester, I am teaching Chemical Engineering Thermodynamics 2. First of all, we discuss about what are the applications of Chemical Engineering Thermodynamics. Here, see the pictures of Chemical Engineering Thermodynamics 2. All applications in nature involve some interaction between energy and matter. Thermodynamics is commonly encountered in many engineering systems and other aspects of life. First, coming to human body. In human body, heart is constantly pumping blood to all parts of the human body. Various energy conservations occur in trillions of the body cells, and the body heat generated is constantly rejected to the environment. We try to control this heat transfer rate by adjusting our clothing to the environmental conditions. Many ordinary household utilities and applications are designed by using the principles of thermodynamics. Examples for home applications are heating and air conditioning systems, the refrigerators, humidifiers, the pressure cookers and the water heaters, iron boxes, showers and computers and TVs. Coming to large scale applications of thermodynamics. Thermodynamics plays a major part in the design and analysis of the automotive engines, rockets, jet engines and nuclear power plants, solar collectors and the design of the vehicles from the ordinary cars to aeroplanes. Here see some of the applications of thermodynamics, including turbines, compressors, pumps, automobile engines, refrigeration systems, air conditionings and power plants. All these are commercial applications. Now coming to the applications of chemical engineering thermodynamics. Generally, in any production of chemicals, polymers and pharmaceuticals and other biological materials and oil and gas processing all involve chemical or biochemical reaction that produce a mixture of reaction product. For example, tertiary butanol. These mixture of components separated from mixture and purified to result in the product of socially, commercial or medicinal value products. This is the area where the thermodynamics plays a center role in processing. And separation process, consider one example, distillation. Distillation are designed based on the information from thermodynamics such as vapor liquid equilibrium data. For your understanding purpose, I will show one experimental setup of vapor liquid equilibrium data. This one. This is the laboratory vapor liquid equilibrium setup. After mixer formation, that is sent to the distillation setup. Actually, in distillation, separation of products from mixer. Now coming to the definition of thermodynamics. Actually, thermodynamics comes from Greek words. Thermo means heat, dynamics means motion. Thermodynamics is defined as the study of energy conservation between heat and mechanical work and subsequently the macroscopic variables such as temperature, volume and pressure. Now coming to unit 1, solution thermodynamics theory. The outlines of unit 1 are review of first and second laws of thermodynamics, fundamental property relation, chemical potential, partial molar properties, ideal gas mixers, fugacity and fugacity coefficient per pure species, species and species in solution, fugacity and fugacity coefficient for pure species and species in solution, ideal solution, excess properties. Outcome of this unit is familiarize with the theory of solution thermodynamics. Now coming to the review on first and second laws of thermodynamics. The statement of first law of thermodynamics is energy can neither be created nor destroyed. The statement of first law of thermodynamics is energy neither created nor destroyed. That means energy can transfer from one form to other form. First law of thermodynamics, also known as law of conservation of energy. See here one example. Initially ball coming from rope and then transfers into energy. Energy here, observe one thing, energy is transferred from one form to another form. The statement of first law of thermodynamics is energy neither created nor destroyed. Mathematical statement of first law of thermodynamics is delta U is equals to Q plus or minus W. Here delta U is the change in internal energy, Q is the heat added to the system, W is the work done by the system. Now coming to limitations of first law of thermodynamics. First law does not say about the direction of flow of heat and also does not say anything whether the process is spontaneous process or not. These are the limitations of first law of thermodynamics. Now coming to second law of thermodynamics. Second law of thermodynamics is expressed in two statements. Statement 1 is no apparatus can operate in such a way that its only effect is to convert heat absorbed by a system completely into work done by the system. That means 100% of heat absorbed by system completely converted into 100% of work done by the system. The meaning of statement 1 is 100% of heat absorbed by the system completely converted into work done by the system. Coming to statement 2. No process is possible which consists solely in the transfer of heat from one temperature level to a higher one or higher temperature one. Now coming to statement 2. No process is possible which consists solely in the transfer of heat from one temperature level to a higher temperature 1. The meaning of statement 2 is heat is transferred from lower temperature to higher temperature level is impossible without using external work. See here, hot reservoir and cold reservoir. Statement 1 shown here in part A. That means 100% heat is converted into work. No heat is transferred to cold reservoir. Coming to statement 2. Hot reservoir and cold reservoir. Heat is transferred to lower temperature level reservoir to higher reservoir, higher temperature reservoir. The statements of second law of thermodynamics shown here in the form of figures. Statement 1 is shown in figure 1 and 2 is shown in figure 2. In statement 1, 100% of work is converted into, in statement 1, 100% of heat is converted into work. In statement 2, heat is transferred from cold reservoir to hot. Coming to first topic in unit 1 is fundamental property relation. Here from the definition of Gibbs free energy, G is equals to H minus Ts. Here H is the enthalpy, T is the temperature, S is the entropy. Equation 1 is for 1 mole of the system. Now coming to N moles. Ng is equals to Nh minus Tns. Taking the differential on both sides of the equation, d of Ng is equals to d of Nh minus d of Tns. Now coming to the definition of enthalpy, H is equals to U plus PV. We abbreviate this one with equation 2. Taking the differential on both sides of the equation 2, d of Nh is equals to d of Nu plus d of Npv. We know the first law of thermodynamics. d of Nu is equals to dq reversible plus dw reversible. Here U is the change in internal energy, Q is the heat, W is the work. From the definition of entropy, dq reversible is equals to T into d of Ns. From the definition of work, dW is equals to minus Pd Nv. After substituting heat term and W term in first law of thermodynamics, we can get the equation 4. d of Nu is equals to Td Ns minus Pd Nv. Substituting equation 4 in second equation, we get d of Nh is equals to Td Ns minus Pd Nv plus Pd Nv plus Nv dP. Substituting equation 5 in 1, d of Ng is equals to Td of Ns plus Nv dP minus Td Ns. d of Ng is equals to Nv dP at constant temperature. This equation 6 is the basic fundamental equation which is developed by Gibbs. Now consider equation 1 for developing fundamental property relation. d of Ng is equals to d of Nh minus d of Nts. Temperature is independent of number of moles. d of Ng is equals to d of Nh minus Tdns minus Ns dt. Equation 7. Substituting equation 7 in equation 5. After substituting, we get d of Ng is equals to Td of Ns plus Nv dP minus Tdns minus Ns dt. d of Ng is equals to Nv dP minus Ns dt. Here Tdns minus Ns dt gets cancelled. Therefore, dz is equals to Vdp minus sdt. Equation 8 is called as fundamental property relation, which is used to calculate Gibbs free energy in any industrial thermodynamic process. Here temperature is dependent on number of moles. d of Ng is equals to d of Nh minus Td Ns minus Ns dt. That is equation 7. Now substituting equation 5 in 7. d of Ng is equals to Tdns plus Nv dP minus Tdns minus Ns dt. Here Tdns minus TDNS gets cancelled. Therefore, d of Ng is equals to Nv dt minus Ns dt. For 1 mole, dG is equals to Vdp minus SdT. Equation 8 is called as fundamental property relation, which is used to calculate Gibbs free energy in any industrial or thermodynamic processes. Now coming to fundamental property relation. Here taking the differential on both sides, d of Nm is equals to dou m by dou T into dt. Here pressure and number of moles kept constant plus dou m by dou P into dP at constant temperature and number of moles plus dou m by dou Ni at constant temperature, pressure and number of moles. Here we club the number of moles with Ni. d of Nm is equals to dou m by dou T at constant pressure and number of moles into dt plus dou m by dou P at constant temperature and number of moles into dP plus dou m by dou Ni at constant temperature, pressure and number of moles into dNi. Replace m with G. Then d of Ng is equals to dou of Ng by dou T at constant pressure and number of moles into dt plus dou Ng by dou P into dP at constant temperature and number of moles plus dou of Ng by dou Ni at constant temperature, pressure and number of moles. From fundamental property relation for closed system, d of Ng is equals to V dNp minus Ns dt. This expression differentiate with respect to temperature. Then we get the dou of Ng by dou T at constant pressure and number of moles is equals to minus Ns, and also differentiate with respect to pressure is equals to Nv, which is shown here. T of Ng is equals to minus Ns dt plus Nv dP plus sigma I is equals to 1 to n dou Ng by dou Ni into dNi. Here mu I is equals to dou of Ng by dou Ni. Substituting mu I term in fundamental property relation, then we get the expression d of Ng is equals to Nv dP minus Ns dt plus mu I into dNi. This is the expression for open system, which is the expression for fundamental property relation for an open system. Now coming to conclusions of today's session, we are discussing about basics and applications of thermodynamics, first and second laws of thermodynamics, limitations of first law and fundamental property relation for closed system and an open system.